Good day, class. You are welcome to another edition of e-learning class. Business Study JSS1. My name is Raheem. Today's topic is public enterprises. In the previous class we had, I discussed limited liability company, which we called joint stock company. I tried to define limited liability company for you, give features of limited liability company, then itemize some advantages and disadvantages of limited liability company. If you can recollect, or let me refresh you, joint stock company is the coming together of investors who own or buy share in a company for the purpose of running the business. This investor that owns or buys shares in the company is regarded as shareholder. They are the owner of the company. There are two types of joint stock company that I discussed. Number one is private limited liability company, and number two is public limited liability company. For the purpose of forming private limited liability company, the minimum number of owners must be 2, while the maximum number of shareholders is 50. But in the case of public limited liability company, whenever it's going to be formed, the minimum number of the owner or shareholder is 7, as I discussed, and the maximum number of owners or shareholder is infinity. It doesn't have maximum limit for the number of owners. Back to today's topic, which is public enterprises. What is the meaning of public enterprises? Before that, in the previous lesson we had, I itemized 5 forms of business organization for you, starting from sole proprietorship, partnership, limited liability company, cooperative society, and public enterprise. Today, public enterprises, by definition, is a kind of organization, business organization, established by the government. But this time around, not to make profit, as in the case of sole proprietorship, partnership, and limited liability company. It is not established to make profit, but to provide essential services for the people, for the citizens of a country. What do I mean by these essential services? These are services that the citizens need for their well-being, or the kind of services that is needed for a particular country, for its economy to move forward. Example of these services are provisions of water, provision of health, provision of security, provision of transport service, and so on and so forth. We have features that are peculiar to public enterprises. What are these features? Public enterprises is established and financed by the government. It is established and financed by the government to provide essential services for the people. Then this private individual cannot establish public enterprises. It is usually established by the government to provide essential services for the people. And this public enterprise is established by law the law we call Act of Parliament. Before public enterprise can be established, the bill establishing it must be passed by the National Assembly and signed into law by the President. So when that one is done, then public enterprise is duly established. This public enterprise also is a legal entity. Once it is established, it can be run independently of even the government that is establishing it. Not only that, public enterprises is run by the board of directors appointed by the government. As I said earlier, public enterprises is not established to make profit, but to provide services to the citizen. These public enterprises can also be called public corporations, statutory organizations, government parastatals, and government agencies. Examples of these public enterprises are Government Hospital, Power Holding Company of Nigeria, now privatized, National Television Authority, Nigeria Postal Service, Nigeria Port Authority, Nigeria Railway Corporation, and so on and so forth. What are the advantages of these public enterprises? Number one is that it enjoys monopoly. It enjoys monopoly. That is, it is the only one in the business. No, they don't usually compete with public enterprises. A good example in this regard is Nigeria Railway Corporation. It is a corporation that runs rail transport in Nigeria. Then another advantage is that it is run independently of even the government that established it. Once it is established, it is a legal entity. It is separated from the government that established it. So it is now, it is run by the board of directors. As I said, it provides essential services to the people. Although I said earlier that public enterprises is not established to make profit, but it generates income for the government. Let me give you a kind of example of this. DAMP, Joint and Admission and Matriculation Board, in 2018 and 2019, DAMP remitted the sum of 8 billion naira to the federal government. So as you can see, sometimes public enterprises generate income for the government. Another advantage of public enterprises is that it has access to large capital because it is being funded by the government. So as a result of that, it has access to large capital. From this, we are moving to the disadvantage of public corporation. The first advantage here is that it is very difficult to establish, and that before it can be established, due process of law must be followed, and that one can take a long period of time before it can be established. As I earlier said, the bill to establish public enterprises must be initiated. After that, it must be passed by National Assembly, then signed into law by the President. So before all this can be done, it can take a long period of time. Then another disadvantage here is that public enterprises affairs is a public affairs. Public enterprise affair is a public affair. It is established and financed by the government through the taxes paid by the citizen. It means public enterprise is owned by the citizen of a particular country. As a result of that, almost everybody the public has a say in its affairs, especially if the enterprises is not run efficiently. The member public has opportunity to criticize it. Then another advantage is that it requires large capital to run it. That is why it is beyond, that large capital sometimes is beyond the reach of private individuals. Another one is that sometimes it might not be properly managed, this public corporation, because it is characterized sometimes by inefficiency. A good example of PHCN before it was privatized, it is characterized by inefficiency. That is the reason why the government privatized some of its public corporations, like NEPA. The fund sometimes meant for the running of this public corporation can be misused. It can be misappropriated. It can be misappropriated. It can be embezzled. In a situation in which the directors of this corporation and politicians, they collide together to use this fund meant for the running of public corporation to take care of their private affairs, to build houses, mansions, buy cars, and some other things. So, as a result of this, the running of public enterprises may not be, the running of it may be inefficient. For your assignment, you check the assignment at the assignment corner in the Google Classroom for your assignment, and the assignment will be submitted before the next class. Good day.